CSS variables are used in many web applications and can be very helpful for large-scale or even small-scale web apps. Let's take a look at how we can use them. Hi everyone, I'm Kyland. I like learning as much as I can about programming, and I love passing that knowledge on to others. So if that sounds enjoyable to you, or if you just want to learn a little bit about programming, make sure you subscribe and hit that follow button so you don't miss another upload. Let's get right into it. So CSS variables are useful because you can define one value in one place and then you can call it wherever you want. And then if you ever in the future need to change that value for whatever reason, maybe you have an update or something and your color values change, you can update it in one place and it'll take effect throughout your entire application. So how do we create these CSS variables? Well, we could create them in many different ways, but best coding practice says we should define them inside of the root pseudo element. That way we can access them globally rather than them being scoped to one specific area of your application. Let's take a look at how we can do that. So to create this root pseudo element, all we have to do is put a colon and then root afterwards, and then we can open and close our brackets here. To define our CSS variables, all we have to do is double dash followed by the name of the variable. So if we wanted to define something called header color, we would define it like that. And then we would put our value right afterwards. So we would do RGB and we would define our color here. So let's define something along the lines of 12, 15, 4. Alright, and then that's our CSS variable right there, and it's saved in the variable name header color. So how do we access our CSS variables? Well, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is select the element in which we want to add the color to, and then we would use the var keyword to access that variable. So let's say we want to add this color, header color, to our 3 header tags. Alright, I have a class on those called header. So all I have to do is access the header class on those 3 elements, and I would say color, alright, and then I would use the var keyword and I would pass in header color just like that. Now if I save that, it may not look like it, but these colors did change over here. So let's now add a color to these paragraph tags. And these paragraph tags each have a separate class on them. And this is where CSS variables can become very helpful. So let's set the text for all 3 of these classes to one specific color. Let's define our CSS variable here and our root pseudo element, and we will call it text color. Alright, and then we will call RGB again, and we'll pass in this nice red color. Alright, we'll make all of our paragraph text this red color. Now let me grab these few tags here. Alright, so now we can define our color inside of these ones. So let's access the var text color, and we can just copy that. Alright, now our text color is all red. Alright, and this is where it can be very helpful because we did have to access each one of those individually the first time around. But now, if we want to change that color, all we have to do is come up here, change the color a bit, save that, and they're all changed completely. We didn't have to access any of these variables again. All we had to do was change it here in our variable. We'll change that to a blue color, and we'll save that, and now all of our text has become blue. So let's end off with a real world example. So here I've got open my Twitter clone project that I've been working on. And as you can see here, this is just my main style sheet right here. This is the one that's passed into every single file. But as you can see here, I have got hundreds of and hundreds, even thousands of CSS values defined inside of this file, and this is only one file. I've got over here, another file with literally hundreds of CSS values defined. So here I've got my CSS variables defined, and ignore the name because it is a poorly named CSS variable. But if I wanted to change this color, if we would say I want to change that to a green color, let's change it to that color right there. So all I would have to do would be change it right here, and if you look over here on the project, once I refresh, you can see everywhere that this color is being used. It's being used in all of these fill colors. It's being used in all of these text colors on this page. Every single one of them is being used in this text. Is being used in this text. It's being used on this fill, and even for the cursor color here and the tweet button, and it's just being used absolutely everywhere. So it would take me hours and hours to go through and find every single one that I would possibly need to change to make that update, and that's just completely inefficient. So this is why it is very helpful for something a little bit more than what we saw in the example project. So I just wanted to add that little tidbit in there to show you why it's so important. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all learned something. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I upload content like this all of the time. I love passing knowledge on to others because it's just so enjoyable. So if you did like the video, make sure you slap a like on it. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another upload. And I will see you in the next one.